Muscle Car Corner here at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. I'm here with Dale. He's got a really special car. This is a 1970 Hemi Road Runner, the pilot car, the first one that's known. So, Dale,
Yep.
super nice to see you.
Thank you
We
so
had a
much.
great dinner last night.
Yep.
Some adult beverages. We had some good tales to tell.
Good conversation and got to know each other a little
Good
bit.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I know him from Jeff Stunkard's, good friend of his. So I wanted him to talk about this 70 Pilot Hemi car and tell me the story on it, how long you've had it,
Okay.
what the background was on it. Then we'll go over the car, get the hood open.
Right.
I want to show him that fender tag that says Pilot on it.
Okay.
And so go ahead and start out with when you got the car.
Yeah, I had been looking for a Hemi car since I was 20 years old, which was 1981 when I first saw my first Hemi car. And I promised myself I would find one someday. So it was a long hunt to find one. They're always overpriced or out of reach or gone already.
Gotcha.
And so I kept trying to find one and put the word out to everybody I know I want a Hemi car. I had a good friend that was a FedEx driver and a Mopar friend. And he called me one day, 25 years ago, and said, I found your car.
Really?
Get your money ready. And I said, okay, where's it at? And he goes, it's right in town. And he goes, and it's everything you want. It's a 70, it's a Road Runner, it's a Hemi, and it's a 4-speed. I'm a 4-speed junkie. I love 4
Oh, you and me
speeds.
both.
And when he said Hemi and 4-speed, I was sold. It's like,
Done.
so let's follow up on this. So he told me where I was at, and I went and met with the guy, and the car was very rough. It didn't have a windshield or a back window in it, no engine. It's painted blue with a stripe on the side, but it was a real Hemi car. And so, and the extra bonus on it was it said Pilot on the fender tag. So that means it's a pre-production car that was hand-built to test everything out, the new car, before it went in full production.
Wow.
So
What a find.
it was.
I mean, that's like it was meant to be for you to have this car and stumble across it like that.
It was everything I dreamed of and then more. And it was, the condition I knew. I just had to get the car, and it would take a long time before I got to it.
Gotcha.
But I had the car, and I would restore it when I could.
Yeah.
And I would just secure it.
Well, you were probably sourcing parts and engine and all that good stuff as well. You said there was a roller when you found it.
No engine in it. The rear end was wrong. No interior. The dash was in it. The original dash had never been out with the VIN on it and everything. So
Wow.
that was all good. So I worked on the guy, and he was in a low-income area. And I said, I want to buy this car, and I'd go over about every month. He goes like, no, it's not for sale. So every time it rained, it would drive me crazy because the car had no windshield in it. I'm like, it's getting rained on, and the guy's not doing anything.
You didn't bring a tarp down and cover it for him?
No. So I should have really.
Going thinking of it.
But
yeah.
about 4 months later, he called me. I was at home, luckily, and he said, my unemployment's running out. I need money. The car's for sale. And I
Cha-ching.
said, yeah, so I'm like, I'll be over in 20 minutes. I called the rollback. I didn't even have a trailer then. I said, I'll be over. Went by the bank, got some money, and loaded it up. And
Let's discuss that price you paid for it.
Okay, so the
That's an important part of the story.
The condition it was in, local people would have offered probably $1,500 because it was rough. It needed everything.
Everything.
And so I'm like, I need to hit this guy hard and let him know I'm serious. Local money, I just threw out $6,000. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll let you know. And there's a motor that goes with it, but it's a 440 that I'm rebuilding. And, but I promised it to my son. But that number I knew would get in his head. I was willing to go higher than that. But I thought, well, that's a good starting number. If he wants to go higher, I'll go higher.
Sure.
So when he called me up and said, come over, I got there, got the rollback, I got the money. And he goes, well, I really don't have the 440, so it's $5,500. I'm like, oh, it's discounted. Let's go. That was a great thing to happen. So,
Wow.
so we got it home, and
It was almost left for dead, wasn't it?
It was left. It was bad, and I'll show you some pictures of it. Went right before I bought it, in his condition, and it was bad.
Floors gone on it.
Floors were gone. Trunk was gone.
Inner and outer wheelhouses.
Yeah, they needed a lot of work. Actually, the cowl was good. The inner fenders on the front was good. So it had good bones, really. The frame was not rotted.
Gotcha.
So it just needed almost what every Roadrunner needs.
They all need a lot of work.
Every Roadrunner needs all that stuff. So, so that was 25 years ago last week. And
Wow.
so I held on to the car, and other cars came and went. But I knew this one was going to be a big, big project.
Yeah.
So I hung on to it, and I found an engine up in Detroit. I was up there on work, and I stopped at a cruise-in that was up there, and talking to a guy, and he goes, "Hey, I know a guy that's got an engine that'd be perfect for your car." I go, "Okay." So I called him, and he gave me a price, and it's correct date coded for this car.
Wow.
So I went home, got a pickup truck, and drove back to Detroit and picked up the engine. And so that's the engine that's in here. It's a no-VIN engine. Since it's not the original engine, there was never a VIN on the engine, which is almost perfect.
That's perfect for you.
So,
So let's take a look at some of the obvious things on the car.
Okay.
This didn't have the longitude stripe on it.
no, this was pretty much an engineering exercise. So it didn't have a lot of options. It's a post car, not a hardtop car.
Yes.
So it's not a high option car.
What about in the interior? What was deleted on the interior itself to lighten these cars, or being as a Hemi car, was it a radio delete?
Well, it's a radio delete car, and it's actually got a 69 dash in it. So now we're getting into some things that are different from a normal 70 Roadrunner.
Wow.
This has a 69 sweep speedometer instead of the rally gauges that a 70 round rally gauges that a 70 Roadrunner has.
Yep.
And it's actually got a 70 satellite lower plastic and glove box. So it's a satellite and a 69 Roadrunner dash on it. So very different. That's what freaks people out.
It is. It's total.
And it had a 69 heater box in it that was, so there's a lot of changes from 69 to 70 that I learned about as we were restoring this car too.
Well, I tell you what, the interior is just beautiful on it.
Got the 4-speed pistol grip shifter.
I call it a pistola grip. The old bench seat. One thing I learned about these versus the buckets, these were lighter. These full seats.
Yes.
You know, for some odd reason.
Right.
That's what it's all about right there, ladies and gentlemen. Hemi. Well, let's go ahead and pop the hood and take a look at what we got up under the hood on it and talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Is this a track pack car?
It's a super track pack.
Super track pack 410 Dana. Gotcha. They pulled all the stops out, I'm sure, with this car, you know.
So, and early cars like pilot cars, they typically paint them white so they can really study the lines on the car and the gaps and everything and see how things line up.
See if the unibody's twisting under hard acceleration and whatnot.
So,
wow, look at that.
So it's got the 2 4-barrel carburetors, power steering, power brakes,
air grabber
box that's vacuum operated. In 69, like that car over there, it's cable operated with a pull cable. And in 70, they went to a switch on the dash that was vacuum operated.
Okay, gotcha. That's how the air grabber worked. It was,
And so when it springs on it too, so when you shut the car off, the springs will actually pull the air grabber hood scoop down so it doesn't stay open and get rain and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's neat.
It has to be running for it to be up, supposedly.
Mm-hmm. So what goodies did you put into the motor? Is it basically stock, or did y'all bump anything up on it?
No, the cam is pretty much stock. It's a little over stock, but nothing radical. I wasn't looking for any speed demon or anything, so we pretty much tried to put it right back to stock. So,
gotcha. Now, is it a 10.5 to 1 motor? What's the
It is
compression
10
ratio?
to 1.
10
Actually,
to 1.
440s had the extra half a compression over a Hemi.
I know it.
440s had 10 and a half, and Hemis had 10 to 1. So 10 to 1 pistons. Gotta love the Road Runner horn. They all have that,
Of
but
course.
we love that.
Yeah, that was.
I beep it all the time. It's so fun.
I love it too. And I tell you what, the restoration on this thing is crisp. It's done right. I'm really enthused with their work. It looks really nice. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. This is a pilot car, and it says pilot right on the tag right there, which is just amazing that you found this car and it just happens to be that car.
And the tag with all the pieces missing. Luckily, the rusty tag was still on there, and the dash with the VIN was still on there. So it's like, and then we found the other numbers on the radiator support.
Gotcha.
And on the trunk lip back in the back that had the hand stamp serial numbers on it. And I had this car before I touched it and started restoring it. I took it to the experts and had them document the car and take pictures of it and say yes. So there's some things that are different on this car than factory, like we talked about.
Galen
but it's
Glovier?
documented. Galen looked at the car, and so did Frank Battleson.
Okay.
Frank
You can't
spent
get
a
better
day-
than those two.
Yeah, Frank took pictures of everything,
Yeah.
including the gauges underneath, and said the date codes around the gauges he could see, took pictures of
Really?
it. And it was, he said, this dash has never been out of the car. So it's like,
That's
that's what I
amazing.
needed to hear. That's what we needed.
You know, all that rain that went in there, it didn't damage anything. And you've not had it out, or was it restored? The dash.
What's that?
Did you have the dash restored? And the
Yeah, we had to
instrument
restore
cluster?
that.
That's what I figured.
Right.
Well, this car is super cool. Now I know you got a couple other cars. You got a pretty neat Charger too, don't you? I remember Jeff telling me about
I got
that.
a 68 Charger that's a 383 4-speed car. 4 speeds are pretty rare, and it's kind of in original unrestored condition, but it's a great driving car, and paint's faded, but I love it. And then I've got a Superbird also that
Nice.
I actually 446 pack that I actually found before I even bought my first car when I was a teenager.
Really?
And I went back and found it over the years. So I've had that car for 32 years. And it was always a project like this one. And I just got it restored 5 years ago. Never drove it till 5 years ago.
Wow.
So finally, it's like, it's time to do this. I've been buying the cars. Now it's time to start fixing them up. I want to enjoy them. I want to get them out. I want to, I don't want them to be project cars forever, and I'm at that age. It's time to do it.
It's time to do it.
It's what you signed up for.
Yep.
It's time to step on it and do it.
Get it done.
And Lee Hodge has been an instrumental in making it happen. When I'm ready to go, they can sit 20 years in my garage, but when I'm ready to go, I want to go. And he's the man. And when I go to him, it's getting
taken
work
care of.
done. It's getting
You don't
taken
need
care of.
anything.
Right. So he's been really good about working with me on that. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how come you weren't at the Wing Warrior reunion? Did you know about that?
yeah, I didn't go to that. I've been to the last two, but
Yeah,
I just didn't go
gotcha.
to this one. I was pretty involved with this deal, and so I needed to cut
was all
back on
hands-on.
expenses. And so
Well, next year, or when they have the next one, we need to get that you said Superbird out of the garage and take it on out and do it. I'm not going to be that far away from you when I move to North Carolina, so
Right.
I'm going to have to come over and we're going to have to document that car as well.
we have to take some pre-test drives, I think, too.
Doing drive videos is a lot of fun. I was
Yeah.
just talking to Tim Wellborn about that, and I said, first of the year, I want to be over at your museum doing those drive gigs we were talking about. He
Right.
says, no problem. What do you want to drive?
Oh, he's good about that. I love Tim.
Yeah. I tell you, I've been so fortunate. The people I've met through Stunkard, I helped him get his YouTube channel out.
Right.
We were at Meekum 2 years ago, and and he said, I lost my job. And I said, I knew he was,
It was a year ago this weekend.
a year then.
Yeah, because we were here at McHacken on Friday.
And that's when the bomb got
And,
dropped.
and I walked into the room. We were at the hotel, and he had just got off the meeting, so it was bad. It was unfortunate.
I hate it for him, but
I know.
I told him we were at Meekum, and I said, I'll help you get a YouTube channel going. and boom, look at what he's got.
That's what he
now,
needed.
You know,
he
and
needed your help. So thank you.
well, you know, like I said, you've got a YouTube channel with your cars you got, and the passion you have for these Mopars. Don't discount doing it if you ever have time to do it. You know,
I'd love to.
Document your own cars, your own channel.
I love sharing them to people that enjoy them. That's what it's all about. You know, if I go to a show and a young boy or girl is there and they're showing interest in the car, I have them sit in the car. I usually have them start. I have them hit the horn and beep beep. So
Nice.
I want to share the passion. You know, it's not about being some untouchable model here. It's
You're
about
exactly
sharing
right.
the cars with people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing your Superbird and the Charger you got, and we'll get together on those. And I think tonight we're going back to Gibson's, aren't we?
I believe we are.
And guess who I got for a guest to go with us? Arnie Beswick's going to have dinner with us tonight.
Really?
I've known Arnie since '68.
Whoa.
And I did a neat interview, so he's going to dinner with us tonight.
That's amazing.
I had told him I'd buy him. He said, that's not necessary.
Wow.
So 94-year-old living legend drag racer is going to be, we're going to be rubbing elbows tonight with him, which is going to be super cool. So I'm super pumped. And like I said, a lot of thanks to Stunkard. I helped him with his channel, but he's helped me get a lot of connections. I'm tailing with him on a lot of the stuff he's been involved with. So I feel I'm very fortunate to be able to meet guys like you and some of the people that are here. So that is just
the
so
networking
cool.
is so fun. Getting to meet our heroes and be involved with them. They're real people.
It's
Get
neat.
to meet new friends like you, and,
Yeah.
and it grows, and then you see them next year. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
You know, the classic car life is something I've been living for many, many moons. I've been in car shows ever since the mid 70s, you know, late 70s. And I live in Daytona, so, you know, you got the Turkey Rod Run every year.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to that.
5,000 plus cars usually there, and they do cruises all over Daytona. So I've been involved with this stuff my whole life, and this is like, I was getting prepared for this YouTube channel, all the things I've done through my life, all the cars I've built, all the people I know, you know, and it's all come together, and my life is so dang good right now.
Isn't that neat?
It could not be any better.
That's
and
great.
And it's guys like you that make it even better. So sure appreciate your time
My
with this.
pleasure.
And we're going to put this thing up and let everybody see this fine 70 Pilot Hemi Road Runner. So thanks so much, and we'll see you at dinner tonight. We might have to have a cocktail and talk about it.
I look forward to it. Thank you
All right,
very
brother.
much.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.